So Assetto Corsa is known for being a very good game, very versatile, very usable as in terms of modifying and things like that. But also one of the biggest problems with Assetto Corsa is that it's quite an old game. So I'm going to run over my graphics that I'm running today. I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of drifting. I've got my camera here so you can see my wheel inputs and what I'm actually doing. I'm running a Simplicity SW25 direct drive wheel. And if you want the settings from what I use, then just drop a comment below and I'll put them in there, not a problem. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. So then guys, the car that I'm going to be using today is the Tando Buddies 300ZX as it's known in the UK, or the Z32. We're going to be running on Tamada Sportsland, but before we go ahead and do that, I'm just going to quickly show you my settings. I have a preset setting for drifting, and it really helps with stability and making sure that it runs really smooth. So we'll just head over to settings, and we'll just go over to Assetto Corsa up here, and then we want to go to video. And as you can see, I've got my drift settings down here. I've got 4K video settings and obviously range settings. Now the reason I've got these settings is with me running in 4K resolution, if you start running a lobby with like 28 cars and there's a lot of smoke, you are going to get some sort of frame drop. So by having these settings on, what I've done is I've optimized it because I haven't really seen a difference in visuals on these tracks that I run on. I haven't seen a problem with anything really apart from a performance increase and a smooth stability. So obviously if I join a server today or something, just to show you guys, it might run a little bit glitchy purely because I'm running OBS to record all this. And as you can appreciate, recording this and running in a 4K resolution across triple screens does have quite a performance impact. So as you can see, I'm in 11520 by 2160 resolution. I click the full screen here so that we're not running any Windows processors in the background. I've obviously got the rendering mode in triple screen. VSync is on. Again, I've done a video if you want to check that out, talking about Reaver Tuner and MSI Afterburn and how you can stabilize your graphics with that, so make sure you take a look. Because I explain it all in detail in there. I don't have millimeter frame rate because we don't need to with VSync being turned on. I'm already capped at 60 FPS as these are only 60Hz monitors with them being 4K. The multi-sampling anti-aliasing I've only got it 2 times. Now the more you increase this, the more sharp it gets, the more better it becomes. But you'll see a massive improvement if you run this a little bit lower. Yes, it does create a little bit of visuals because I'm running this 4K resolution. Obviously, like you get like a stair stepping and like a glistening in the distance. I don't see that so much with this, so I can benefit from these settings. Anisotropic filtering I'd leave on full. World details I have on minimum. Now if you turn this on low, medium and high, just play around with these until you get it right. But like I said, I haven't seen a massive visual look difference by having it on minimum. So this is why I've got this setting. I've got in and tested. Shadow resolutions on 512 by 512. Again, it's sort of just in the mid-range. Smoke generation. Now, if you turn this off, and if you come up to custom shaders patch, and then you come down to particles and FX, you can see here that you can turn on smoke. Okay, play with these settings here, and you will still get smoke. I don't understand why it does it, or how it does it, but when you've got the smoke generation turned on in this setting, it seems to have a massive impact on performance. You get a really bad stability, you get a lot of FPS drop. If you turn it off, it seems to massively improve it, yet you still get smoke, so just take note of that. And again, I'll talk about this in my other video. Reflections resolution, I've got on 1024 by 1024, and the rendering frequency, I've got it on static. The rendering distance at 360, again, this is all down to personal choice. It's up to you whether you want to run that, what distance you want to run it at, sorry. Obviously the shaders, post-processing filter that I'm running, overall quality is on minimum, glare quality off, depth of field off, motion blur off. Saturation, I've just got turned down, that's just your colouring. Heat shimmering, I'm not interested in, all sun rays, I don't like that on the game, I prefer to have it off. FXAA I've got turned on. Mirror resolution 512 by 2048, and I've got them in high quality because I do like a good mirror look. And I've found that these settings are pretty decent across the board and really are pretty good for drifting. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to head out onto track and give this a whirl. So we're just going to click on drive. We've got the Z32 ready and Tamada Sportsland. We're on a practice. I like the windy sol, just with the look of the clouds and everything, so we'll get out there and see what we can do. So we're out on track now in the Z32 Tamada. Just get warmed up here. I do like this layout, it's a very sort of, you know, Japanese style circuit, very twisty, just sort of what the Japanese really focus on really, you know, twinning. So I've modified the sound file in this car so it's got the sound of the 2JZ, I really do like the sound of it. I like the feel of this car, it's a little bit lazy but, you know, the smoke, as you can see in the mirrors, put the interior mirror on. We'll just move that down actually so that you can see. I'll just use my stream deck for that. Just come back in. Okay, so as you can see now, because you can't really see my other mirrors because of the way I'm recording it, but you'll be able to see the smoke is actually on. Now, because I'm on my own, it's going to run really stable. I get that. But once you go to an online level, you'll be able to see how it runs as well as OBS. But as you can see, it's running pretty well. So yeah, it's running good, everything's working. Just get a bit more comfortable in my seat. Come a little bit close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do one more lap. I'm going to see if I can find an online lobby and see what it's like against some other cars, see how well it runs. I do like the feel of this car, the sound. I know it's not a true 300 ZX sound, but I just like the sound of the 2J. It's got a really nice sound to it with this sort of screamer pipe noise, especially when you hold it in. What we'll do now, guys, is we'll head over and see if we can find an online lobby. So we've got the drift playground. There's approximately 13 cars in here. We'll just join in this one and see what's happening. Right, guys, so we're inside this drift playground now. Again, I'm just going to adjust my mirror. Just get it something like. And then we're going to head out on track and just get warmed up and follow these other cars. Hopefully these guys will be fairly decent at drifting as well. Dragging back a little bit just to see. Well, maybe we won't be following these guys because they've just come off. I'm not the world's best drifter either. I just practice. To be fair, I should have put a bit better width tyre on. These tyres feel a little bit loose. But we'll just see how we go. I'm hoping I can probably catch up with this car down here. Whether we can get some twinning done and just see what it looks like. And again, it's smoke that really has an impact. And I really don't know how this is going to perform. We've only got 12 cars in the lobby now, but I want to see, you know, how it performs with OBS Studio recording as well. I'm just going to try and launch this down here now and do a little bit less drifting. Come on guys, let's go. Let's get some drifting done. It seems to be controller drifters, not steering wheel drifters. You can tell because of the wheels flicking about, but I could be wrong. It'd be good if I could follow some decent drifters. He's struggling a bit, as you can see, with his wheel rotation. I'm just gonna go back to the pits and see if we can follow someone else out. There's many people in this lobby that want to do a drift, but see if we can get behind this guy. He looks like he's a bit better than the others. Once his tyres warm up, they'll start to smoke. This new shaders patch update. It's quite difficult to drift on this game, you know. You've really got to be decent at keeping hold of the cars, especially when you're doing a lot of transitions like this. But this is a good track to learn on because it's just small and tight and has the barriers, so it's not forgiving. So it teaches you to, you know, really be careful and not sort of just think, oh well, I can go wide onto the grass. You know, if you hit the barrier, then it's game over. This guy's pretty good, so he's decent to follow. I'm not the best, like I've said, but I do try, and I'm not too bad. He's got a nice wide line there. As you can see, we're starting to get a bit of smoke now. Oh, he's overshot it there. I think this guy's really putting a lot of angle on and really whipping it, but you've just got to be careful when you do that, because when you start whipping and, you know, doing big entries, got to be able to have the grip and be able to catch it. So depending on, I mean, he's over angling a little bit. Just on the left foot brake there, just keeping the foot brake on as well as accelerating just to hold the line. Just keep off his back door, and then a little bit of a clutch kick to get back in on his door. But as you can see, I'm not very sure where he's going to go, so it's difficult to follow at the minute. And then for some of the smoke, it is realistic, but it does make it hard to see. So I'm kind of blind for a split second. We just touched the barrier there. And like I said before, these tyres are not the best for grip. They're alright, but they're not the best. So I'm struggling a little bit myself. I'm kind of watching his car more than I'm watching my rear end on the barriers. There's a lot of smoke and it's running pretty stable. Yeah, granted there's only me and him out, so it's not really a lot of cars, but if you try these settings and just mess around with them until you get them right, I'm sure that you'll find that they're pretty decent for you as well on your setup, depending on your graphics card obviously. But you know, if you're running something as, like I've said, as old as a 1070, 1060 even, my friend's got a 1070 and his runs on here no problem, not in 4K obviously, just in 5760 triple screen resolution by 1080. We've dialed that in and we've got it running with these sort of settings really well. I do test it on all my friends' computers when we're on and tell them to try them, so I know that they work. He's running a 1070 with an i9 9900K. He's running M.2 hard drive. Pretty decent spec PC to be fair. 4000 megahertz of DDR4 RAM. So yeah, the PC itself's good, but again, we saw a massive improvement with these graphics settings in Assetto. Just, you know, even after the setup that he's already got, we dialed it in a little bit, and you know, you've got to appreciate that a 1070 now is probably a 5-year-old card, maybe even 6. No, I think it's about 5 about maybe 2015, 2016, something like that. And it's an Aces Turbo one, and it runs really well. He could come in here with me, 20 odd cars, 25 car lobby, and don't really struggle at all. He says he gets the odd spike now and again, but apart from that it runs smooth. So just goes to show that just setting your settings up can make a big difference. And as you can see with my settings, they're running pretty smooth. I know I'm on a 3090, but I am running in 4K resolution and recording, so it's a shame that guy just lost it there, but never mind. Like I said, you know, I'm only running at 65% on GPU because I've got it capped, and it just helps keep that stability down and gives you that headroom. So, you know, just keep your eye on your settings in the graphics settings and just keep tweaking them until you find it gets better. But honestly, the smoke in this game is the biggest killer. But if you get it right, it's very rewarding, looks very well. Now, when I say it's the biggest killer, it all depends on what you're actually running. I mean, when you start running triple screens off a, say, a 1080, or I'm not really an AMD guy, that's why I talk more about Nvidia. But obviously, AMD cards that are very similar sort of spec to a 1080 or a 1070 or something, you know, quite old in terms of graphics cards, you know. Where he's going in, so I'm just going to get past him. I'm going to just take lead. But yeah, like I said, just whoa, what is he doing? Like I said, just keep tweaking your settings and playing with them until you get it right. But it's really rewarding, and drifting is very good on this game. I really do like it. And my friend who actually who I was computer we're talking about with the 1070, he used to be in the British Drift Championship. With the Skyline, he was a professional driver. He says that it's pretty realistic, you know. With these wheels we've got, with the settings and everything we've got dialed in, he says it feels pretty good. Obviously it's different because he says you're not feeling your butt move in the seat, so it's all visual, so it's not quite the same. But he says in terms of like how the wheel spins with the caster and everything, it's pretty real. So yeah, that's it for today's video really, guys. I just thought I'd do a little bit of drifting, talk about it, just show you how I can get my graphics running pretty smooth with drifting. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification for all my content. Like I said, I post daily. If it's not tutorial videos, it's just fun videos on racing or drifting, so make sure you keep an eye out, and I will see you in the next one.
From the first time, I stayed for a long time, 'cause I like me better when I'm with you.